gonna record it. All right. So welcome into today's August team call. I'm so excited to see you folks on today. If you couldn't make it and you're catching the recording, still welcome into August because we're now 10 days in. And we are super excited for the month. One, because you guys did a kick-ass time in July. Congratulations to the team for hitting gold. You guys rocked it. And then in addition to that, I have to welcome and congratulate Alexis and her team. Alexis is our crossline. If you don't know her, please get to know her. She's super awesome. But she also hit gold and her team is like going through the roof of celebrations because they keep showing up in new ways. So I'm super excited to have them on. Today we're gonna go over, can you see my screen okay? Just want to make sure. Okay. Today we're going to go over a couple things. So welcome to Alexis and her team for coming in. Super excited that you folks are here. We're going to go over some product highlights, August promotions, finding a balance in your weekly schedule. As I've gone through some mentor calls with you folks, that's been a hot topic on how to have a work-life balance. So I've been listening to this really great video called by Elise Sedevi, and it totally changed my life on how to look at your schedule. So I'm passing that knowledge on to you folks. Hopefully it can help empower you in your weeks ahead. And then we'll go over and wrap up with a couple reminders. Okay, sound good? All right, so this month's product highlight is actually Passion, the inspiring blend. So funny stories, I actually did not really like the smell of it for the longest time. What's in it is fractionated coconut oil, cardamom, cinnamon, ginger rhizome, which is different, a little bit different from like the ginger oil, like extract oil that we're used to. So ginger, clove, sandalwood, jasmine, and vanilla bean. So I was introduced to this actually about last year, February, when it was a special, and we did a dream boarding session. And I remember Alexis being there and Naomi being there, and Naomi being like, you need some passion for sexy time. And that is really what she uses it for. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? So I tried it. Pro tip, she gets you in the mood. I'm not gonna lie. Something about that cinnamon gets you spicy. But you should try it. Just try it. Doesn't hurt to try it, right? Rub that all over, but it's the jasmine that's in there as well as the cinnamon that kind of like gets you racing. Yes. Kristen, I'm so glad Kristen's on. Kristen, it's like next level geranium, next level of like your jasmine roller. So like, girl, try Passion. She's good. But it's the inspiring blend. So funny stories that this is actually, I read the Energy Almanac. This is like really about like energy in the universe and the world, has to do with astrology, has to do with like things that are happening. And that is actually one of the oils it recommends for this month. So I thought, I was like, oh, that's pretty fitting that that's an oil that came up, because this month is all about new changes, new fun changes. So the inspiring blend is all about finding your passion, refinding what invigorates you, what gives you that excitement, right? It like it says here on the slide, it rekindles that feeling of excitement, passion, and joy. Finding the daring or trying something new, as well as discovering renewed joy for current blessings in your life. Creates an inspiring atmosphere and transcends the trivial. So this is actually what I have in my diffuser, but I wanted to actually read you the emotional aspect of it because it goes into depth a little bit more. So this blend was formulated to assist individuals who are lacking inner passion. It is helpful for those who get caught in patterns or self-denial or regimentation, so like a regimen, or kind of getting in like the zone of a routine that you're just kind of on autopilot. Overworking and being too serious can dull one's sensitivity and emotions. When individuals are burdened by a joyless sense of duty, inspiring blend encourages them to be more playful and spontaneous. It teaches that there's more to living than working and obligation. When appropriate, inspiring blend encourages individuals to take a risk, to confidently face their fears, and to break free from the limitations that they have placed on themselves. It challenges individuals to use their creativity and imagination to fulfill their life's passion. In short, when life has become a dull set of routines and obligations, Inspiring Blend acts as a reminder to rediscover one's inner passion. Negative emotions it addresses self-denial, regimentation, duty-bound, serious, dull, joyless, and dispassionate. And then positive properties include passionate, risk-taking, vitality, inspired, alive, playful, spontaneous, and creative. So fitting. It it for me, I have to be honest. Like I've been going through a lot of self-discovery. This I guess this month. There's been a lot of times where I'm asked the question, Brittany, what do you want? And I have no idea. And I was just having this conversation with actually Alexis today by chance that she was like, well, what is your gut telling you? What are you feeling? And I honestly was like torn. And I had to do some soul searching today. And I sat down, I redid my vision board, and I diffused this. I can tell you that the shift in how I'm feeling is completely different from if you were to call me back at 1:00 this afternoon. Completely different. I feel much more myself. I feel like I have a sense of purpose. I was very excited to come to today's team call, which is completely opposite of what I kind of was feeling. So I also feel like if you're having those moments where you just feel like nothing is exciting you in the day and you feel dull or you feel like, oh my gosh, try this blend, Inspiring Blend. It is one of the emotional oils. If you have it, please let me know. I want to know what you think of it. What are your thoughts? Let's see. Alexis says passion is currently flowing through her veins. Yes.
Because you know me and my emotions. I
Yeah.
love to talk about them, but not about mine. I'll talk about everyone else's and how things are, but I won't talk about my own ones, right? And I think I think back to when really the world started to go crazy in what, April, May-ish, right? And when this was just the way for, I think for us as communities to start having bigger conversations with each other. But a lot of those times, those bigger conversations meant uncomfortability and vulnerability, all the things that I don't really care for. I don't like those because they make you feel uncomfortable, right? But I think as I started to slowly think about, okay, what oils can help me? Lavender, the oil of communication, no, that'll just make me sleepy, right? And then I don't want to have these conversations. So I started exploring more with Forgive and with Cheer. And I kind of like, as you're teaching about it, had an aha moment because when you use Forgive, it's because you're frustrated, you're angry, I can't believe they said that, blah, 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 blah. All the uncomfortable parts about your conversation, right? And then you get over it, you give yourself the time to feel what you're feeling, and that's where Cheer comes into place. Like we just talked about this during our BOGO education event, actually. And Cheer kind of says, okay, that happened, let's move on, because they're your family, they're your friends. You're so very lucky to even have them in your life. So it's just to be thankful for those things, right? But I think that if we can somehow positively reinforce, having difficult conversations with passion that make us maybe feel a little bit more joyful or a little bit more excited about having that tough conversation. Like there's a reason why we're choosing to have that conversation in the first place. So let's support that part of the process and still, instead of just the aftermath too. So thanks for the aha moment. I feel like
No.
I'm using this oil.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I haven't thought about that, but like that's so true that like when you have conversations with people, sometimes we think about the aftermath, right? Like when you go into a conversation with like that's full of confrontation, we're like, okay, I put all the forgive on me because I need to forgive you for whatever you're about to say to my face, right? Like trust me, I go through that. But like if we go into it with the intent of I am passionate about this, like self-reflection, reflect inward rather than an outward expression, right? Like forgive for me sometimes is very outward, but look inward and find like you are approaching this, right? For maybe it's between you and your other half. Like very true of what I'm experiencing right now. Me and my other half are got into a really big argument because we're so passionate about finding a home. and where that home's going to be. So having that conversation, we both go into it like, yes, we want a home. Yes, we want a family. Yes, we have a vision of it, but we end up attacking each other, being like, Milani's better than Hawaii Kai, and going all over it, right? But if you go into it, like she's saying, that you have the passion, the intent is there, right? And then it resparks the joy of what's the real root of why you folks are looking for a home, or whatever that might be, right? Whether it's job related, whether it's kid related, whether it is relationship, or maybe it's not a relationship between you and your significant other, and it's a relationship between you and your builders, right? What's that passion behind your business, and what drives you for it? Reignite that. Or maybe it's conversations of like you going back to school or your job, right? If we're in a daily grind of whatever you're doing, let's respark that joy, right? We're all in this like mode where sometimes we're just powering through our work, right? Whether it's your pipeline work or your regular work. I do it too. I block my calendar and I'm like, I'm going to power through 2 hours of inviting and pipes work. But sometimes, like, as exciting as that is, you might feel, oh my God, I feel like that's so cumbersome. But let's re-spark the joy, right? What's the intent behind it? What is the passion behind it? Are you helping people? What drives you to it? Like, get in tune with that and let that drive you forward. Because if you have the right intent, things are going to move automatically. But try partnering with this blend. Ground yourself and anchor yourself with an oil and try it. Try that. Kristen was saying that you felt drained out of nowhere and needed this. Yes, totally. Sometimes we get into like the momentum of our months, or we're already in August, right? 2020 is flashing by and we still feel drained. So let's find ways to reignite it. Reignite that excitement, reignite that passion for whatever you're doing, and find ways to move forward, whether that is in a happy, joyful state, or you're just inspired for what your next move needs to be, or whatever that might be in life. But passion. I do want to take the moment to do a plug for our upline, Ashley. She is actually doing an emotional oils class as well. I know Alexis is having one on the coming up too, right, Alexis? Yeah, Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday as well. So please make sure, if you can, I would say tap into both of their classes. I am still learning so much about the emotional side of our oils that I'm always learning, but maybe it's a time for you to learn, not necessarily to help your customers just yet, but help yourself, right? That's where I always start when I learn about oils, is how do I help myself? Because then I can learn how to help me and then be empowered to help others. So start there. I love to like help promote cross-line classes and upline classes. Okay, so let's go into August promotions. I just want to make sure, I mean, we're already kind of well into August, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page so we know what our promotions are. The first one is the product of the month. It does expire in about 5 days. So please remind your customers that if they make their LRP order of 125 PV by August 15th, you get Caraway. Now you cannot buy this oil, guys. Let me repeat that. You cannot buy this oil. So many of my customers later will text me and be like, Brittany, I missed the promo. How do I get Caraway? And I'm like, girl, you can't. Like, you have to tell them now to warn them so they know they can't buy it later. So it is not available for purchase. So what are some things to help educate? Because maybe you don't have this in your oil collection. What are they going to use it for? Digestive support. Helps with weight management and soothes the body when it is ingested. So here's an upsell for you, right? We're talking about sales. Upsell them with some capsules. Add that to their order. Help them make an order for LRP and add that in so they already have a way to ingest it or use it. Some science facts is that there's actually 2 main constituents in caraway. The first one is limonene, which is very common in a lot of our citrus oils, limonene, but it's known to help soothe the colon. Did not know that. There's actually scientific research that that doTERRA had partnered with to find that out. So it is soothing for the colon when ingested. Other things that you could, the other constituent is carvone, which is soothing, on the nervous system. So really great for people who have anxiousness, or maybe that's why they have digestive issues, right? I don't know about you, when I get super nervous, I get tummy cramps. So I would suggest trying that out as either another layer to their digestive support, right? Terrazyme is another one we add on in the layer with our LLV. Digestin is one of the top 10 that we talk about, peppermint, but maybe Digestin is too strong and they just want caraway, right? Each body is a little bit different. Our scents are a little bit different. Sometimes digestion might be too strong, so peppermint is an alternative. This can be the alternative. It is very safe to use on kids. So maybe if digestion is way too powerful for the little ones and they don't have tamer just yet, let them know they could try to use it for their kids. Yes, fennel is a funky smell. I agree, Alexis. Fennel and digestion is a funky smell. I can't get over it. So I always layer another oil. Maybe if that's too strong, try peppermint and caraway, right? Make your own rollers for your customers, or help them feel empowered to make their own blends to help them with their requests. Kristen says, I've been people request for pets class again. Customers for my builders. Oh, fun. Okay, well, I'll keep you posted, Kristen. And then Robin says that we don't have a label for caraway. Keep tuned in to actually Share Oils, because Share Oils always releases a sticker for the limited edition oils. So like things like Island Mint, Citrus Bloom, Citrus Twist, things that are exclusive that you can't normally buy, they always end up making a label for it. So check that one out. Okay. Let's see. Okay, next promo is at the back to school. So there's 3 rollers that you will get for 15% off. Motivate Touch. So that's also an emotional oil blend, aromatherapy blend. Motivate Touch. We have Thinker as well as In Tune. How I think of it is Motivate is very encouraging, very uplifting. Try blending Motivate with black spruce. That smells amazing. I did it all weekend in my car. It's wonderful. Thinker is the kids version of a focus blend. So Intune is the adult version of a focus blend. Thinker is also a kids version of it. There is slight differences in the oils themselves that make it kind of like different smells. Wait, hold on. Let me find my Thinker. Okay, so Thinker has vetiver, which is actually the main oil, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. And actually rosemary is actually really good for memory retention. So I like that that's in here, because then it's a good oil to study with. So if you're looking for like targeting back to school, whether it's for kids or even adults, or just every day, right? You don't have to be a student to be able to do that or use that oil. Rosemary is really good for brain and memory retention. And I like that it has clementine in it. Vetiver is all about living in the present moment, which we love. Hold on, let me grab my fragrances. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. Intune. Okay, the Intune blend, all right, is full of Indian sandalwood, patchouli, frankincense, lime, ylang-ylang, Hawaiian sandalwood, and Roman chamomile. So Corinne says she doesn't have, but a lot of Dome people like the smell. Okay, the smell is like patchouli. So if you like patchouli, you'll like this. I recommend actually diluting it, because this is pure oil. It's not a touch. Remember, touch means that it's diluted with fractionated coconut oil. Intune is not a touch. So you could dilute it. Things you could add to it to heighten it. I would add more Roman chamomile. We just got it in BOGO, right? Add a little bit more if you don't like the strong smell of patchouli. It has ylang-ylang, but I would say trying adding other like floral oils like lavender maybe, or even magnolia might be a good blend to add in. Or if you like the woods, add in woods. Something like cedar wood could help kind of tame some of that patchouli in it. But it does smell like patchouli, and it comes out so quick. Yeah, that's what she said. No, it does. It does, honestly. Like the roller bottles sometimes don't really, I feel like, stop the oil. It comes out a lot. So breaking it into your own roller and making more out of one, right? Then you get the most value. So when people say, how come Brittany, that one's like retail value 46, wholesale price is like $39. Why? It's because it's pure oil, not diluted. Okay. Okay, any questions on August promos? The back to school special is all month long. The caraway is only until the 15th of the month. All right. Okay, so today's topic. Now, this is something that like I said, after having many conversations with people that I mentor, I found very similarities in what we are experiencing and what we're going through. And that is, how do you find a balance in your weekly schedule to do all your pipes? And it's hard. Time management can be challenging, um, especially like if you are depending on other kids, like you have kids that you're working through their schedules, you have a husband, your job changes week to week. Those can all be challenges, but I'm here to tell you that it is possible. It is possible to find a balance. I am a strong believer that when you plan something, you can make things happen, but you have to plan for it. If you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen. Um, and here's my tips. Okay. So the first one is that actually block your calendar off with the events and things that you already committed yourself to. So what helps me or what works the best is actually doing like a weekly calendar. But if you're a monthly person, do it monthly. I go over this every week. Okay. So first I start off every month and I block off my days of what I have. Then I go on a week to week basis. If this is you and your jam, try it that way. If not, find which way works best for you, but try to do it as a week time. Don't go to a daytime just yet. I would say do a week time because you want to see when you start planning out things for your business, what's going to make the most sense to your schedule. So first, start with your calendar and start blocking off. If you work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., block those off. You're already committing yourself to something. So why are you going to double book yourself, right? Block those off. If you have drop off for kids, right? You're on mommy duty and you are dropping off your kids. So that means breakfast regimen. That means you have to get them out the door, get them dressed, take them to school, and then you can come home. Like you need to plan that out as well. Block off things that you know you are hard committed to. Okay. Um, Kristen says it's hard because each kid's extracurricular activities changes times and days due to back into quarantine. And now homeschooling and husband jobs hours have changed. It's huge. Okay, I know things are in flux. I want you to know you're not alone. So we're gonna take a breather, take a moment, breathe in, breathe out, let it go. Things are gonna be in flux, and that's how you just have to kind of roll with the punches. But if there's certain times of the day that you for sure know I can't commit myself to something, block off. Or if you're anticipating, kids might have extracurricular activities after school hours, which means 3 to 6. Cross that off. Then that just means your business, meaning your pipeline business, is going to change in terms of date. Instead of daytime, you're going to do it nighttime, right? There's no rules of like when you have to do it, right? We just have to get through the things that move our business forward. So first, stop and block off everything. Okay, now you're going to go through, and what we're going to talk about is actually the 7 activities for success. So this is Elise Sedavi's 7 activities. And I would tell this that it's Elise because she's actually our upline. I had to like look in my back office to see how far she is. She's not that far, guys. She's up there in doTERRA, but she's not that far from where you and I are. So if she's our direct upline, like only a couple removed, and she's doing this, guys, we should learn a lot from her. She's not that far from us. I like blows my mind how close we are to people like that. Miley's another one, and she does this. So I am passing this on because this worked for me. So I'm hoping it works for you. So the 7 activities. The first one is Introduction to Essential Oils classes, right? Class basics, basic classes. We teach that. Business basics is the next one. Wellness consults. You're going to get really good at scheduling wellness consults. And I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. Continued education. It's just as important to do a wellness consult as it is to do continued education. I'll tell you why in a minute as well. Team calls like today. Yay, you're already doing one of them. But we also do it on a weekly basis with Miley. And then strategy sessions, or also known as mentor calls, which are super important to your business to move it forward. And the last and final one is contact and follow up. Okay, I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. Okay, first one is Introduction to Essential Oils classes. You folks all do this and know this. If you are brand new to building, welcome. You're going to get really good at doing a basic essential oil class. The reason why it's the most crucial part for your business is because that's how you're going to get new customers. You're going to get new people introduced to essential oils and then introduced into doTERRA. What I did is for actually the first, even to this day, I attend upline and crossline classes over and over and over again. Maybe once or twice a month, I'll try to make sure that I go to somebody else's classes just to learn. Every time you go to a class, you'll actually learn something completely different. Whether that is you're paying attention to how they present something, or maybe how they are explaining an oil, or maybe you learn a new use for an oil, or maybe it's a whole structure, right? You like the look and aesthetic of their presentation and you want to mimic that. You can. Everything is duplicatable, but you're going to learn and get really good at it. Pick up from tips from your upline, your cross lines, and use that. Then that will help empower you to teach with power. So I remember when we did launch month with Mickey and Tiare. Tiare is actually on this call. And she just finished launch month. So yay to Tiare last month. She did launch month. But I remember her saying at the beginning of her launch, and she was like, oh my God, how do you feel so comfortable in talking about your oils and doing the class? I told her my tip is to write down what you want to say. I go to all these classes and I write down, oh, I like how she says that. I went to Kareem's class, which is my team, right? Like I'm not only going to upline and crossline, I'm also going to my team's classes. And I loved how Kareem explained the duplication of oils and why essential oils is effective. And I wrote it down. Then during my classes, I just have my notebook here on my screen, like by my screen. So I'm kind of reading my notes, but I'm also teaching. People aren't paying attention to what I'm saying. They're paying attention to what's on the screen. So you can have notes, but you're going to get really good with that. And then next thing you know, you don't need your notes anymore because it's going to become second nature for you to just share so freely and openly of what you are passionate about and why you are drawn to oils and why you use it. Okay. When you look at your schedule it one time a week. It should be an hour, no more. If you are, let's work on cutting things down. That means you're sharing too much, but it should be about an hour. And what your goal is to do the same time, same day, same time, same place. And the reason why you want to aim to do that is because you want to be consistent. So your customers have consistency. So your team has consistency. Because if you're telling your team, come and use my class, but yet every week it's different, you have to remind them every week. Class not on Tuesdays, come on Thursdays. Class not on Thursdays, come next week instead. No class this week, right? You have to always remind them. So take it easy on yourself. Let's break it down a little bit easier. Have it at the same day, same time, same place. Keely Martinez, who knows about her? She's like she's on her way to double diamond, and she's like one drop owner, and yeah, fantastic woman. She started her business doing in-person classes every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at a wine shop. She would say, come have wine with me and let's talk about oils. Every day for a year. And that's how she built to diamond in a year. So if she can do it in a year, guys, we could definitely do it. But the key is consistency. Another reason why you want consistency in your schedule is because when you start to leverage your customers for referrals, to bring a friend, right? Bring a friend to my class. If they already know, oh my God, yeah, Chelsea has classes every Thursday at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, I know. Okay, next week, why don't you come with me? She's gonna have one, right? Then she takes out the back and forth between her friend and Chelsea being like, no, I have class next week on Wednesday instead of Thursday, right? Like take out some of that. So your customers also get consistency. So if they ever want to lean into it or bring you somebody to learn about essential oils, they already know your schedule, right? Keep it simple for you folks. But it should be at least once a week. Now, sorry, my dogs. There is some gray areas to that where I could say, if that doesn't work with your schedule, do with what works. But remember, consistency is key. So try your best to be consistent. Okay. Next one is business basics. So before you get into the business basics, reflect and ask yourself, how often do you talk about the business? Do you give people the opportunity to actually hear about the business or being part of your team? Guys, when Elise said that on her call, I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Because she was like, when people come to her and say, I have trouble finding builders, I have trouble finding team members, seriously ask yourself, how often are you talking about the business? Do you actually talk and invite them to be part of it or hear how they can be part of it? If you're not talking about it, then you're not really trying to find builders. You're not trying to find teammates. So, that being said, after every basics class, aim to immediately schedule your business basics. It should be 20 minutes, super short. And the idea is to just whet someone's appetite. You're just gonna give them a little taste. And here's some of the things you're gonna go over. Residual income. Why is it important to build a pipeline? What can that do for you? Why are you gonna partner with doTERRA? And then talk about business success stories. How can doTERRA be a vehicle for you to achieve your goals? Think about your goals, right? What did doTERRA do for you? And if you still haven't got there yet of what it's done for you, what did it do for your upline? If you don't know their story, then you need to go back to their business basics as well and hear their story again. If you still need more inspiration, what did their upline do? What did the crossline do? Right? We all have our own stories of what it's done for us, whether that be time freedom, right? Time to be a mom, whether that be financial freedom, right? Paid off my car, whatever that might be, tell business success stories. The whole goal, and when you think about what you go over in your business basics, is you want to leave your audience and your potential team feeling inspired and motivated. You want them to say at the end of it, I want that. What Haley has, I want. I can do that. What Tiana can do, I can do too. I want to supplement my income, or I want to replace my income, right? Those are the kind of conversations you want to go into. You're not going to go into depth of how you actually build structure and do power of three. Not for this call. Not for this call. You're not going to go over the in-depth ideas of compensation plan. Yes, give them a taste of how they can make money, but the main point of it is, how do you build a residual income, right? The bucket story for sure in the build guide, the importance of it. And then you're going to go over why doTERRA and why it's helped you. Why is doTERRA going to be the vehicle for you? Okay. Any questions on business basics? Okay. The reason why you're going to introduce it immediately after your basics class is because they're already captured. They're already potential customers. So why not be potential builders as well? Capture them all at the same time. And if not, and you're inviting people to only the business part of it, and they're coming, say, online after your basics class, then you're going to say, okay, I have a basics class. Please come to it. We're just going to stay online and chat for a little bit about the business. Then you're going to realize it's that simple, right? In my business basics, I always tell them, what does it mean to present? You're going to teach a basic class, exactly what I just did. We give you all the tools and resources to do that, right? Super, super simple and duplicatable, but you're going to do it right after to capture their attention because you're already committing that hour to teach. So why not just talk a little bit more about the business for 20 more minutes? Okay. Next one is wellness consults. Every single person who is personally enrolled to you, should have a wellness consult. Ideally, you want it to happen within 4 to 6 days after they have signed up. So the minute you get that email saying enrollment notification, you want to already start setting up a wellness consult. So, for example, if you sign up 1 to 2 people a week, you should have on average 1 to 2 wellness consults the following week. If you are like a go-getter and you have 9 in 1 week from BOGO, great, but make sure you schedule 9 wellness consults the following week. How you're going to do it and how it's recommended by Elise is you're going to schedule different times during the week to make yourself available. They are 30-minute slots. So have some on, I don't know, Wednesday morning if you can. If not, do Thursday afternoon. If not, do Saturday evenings or whatever that looks like in your schedule. 30-minute slots. You're just going to block off and base it up. Be real. What is your average enrollment, or what are you aiming to enroll every week? If your goal is 2 people, then block off 2 30-minute slots in the following week. Okay? Some resources that are super helpful on making sure your wellness consults are efficient and in that 30 minutes, because it can be. One is the daily mentor call. The daily mentor calls gets it down with a complete script to 25 minutes. Empowered Success has a video on this as well. It's no more than half an hour with them explaining the Live Guide. Plus, they're showing you how to do it. 30 minutes, totally possible. If you like to voila owl like me and talk story for forever and a day, that's fine. Just make sure you block your time for that. And know that that's kind of what you anticipate to have in your wellness consults. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes if you need to. Okay. If, for example, you don't have a wellness consult for that week, right? So this week you didn't enroll anyone. So next week you don't really have a wellness consult to go over. What are you going to do? Do something else in your business. You've already blocked that time in your calendar, right? You've already blocked off that half an hour or hour. Just because you don't have a wellness consult doesn't mean, okay, I don't have to do anything. Do something else. Do personal development. You can never have enough of that. Or maybe follow up with other people, contact other people, or find something else to be productive, right? We have so many programs like Silver Club. We have the essential oil certification. There's doTERRA Social Academy happening. So many things are happening. There's always something that we can be doing in our pipes. Oh yes, sales training too. That's a good one. Thank you. Sales training. Okay, wellness consult though. Okay, you're gonna schedule it into your calendar. So when people are asking, when you call people and you're like, hey, I'm so glad to see that you're part of the team. Welcome. I'd love to do a welcome call with you. They're like, okay, sure. Instead of you being like, I gotta move around my son's baseball and then I can't do that day. No, already say I have Wednesday at 8 a.m., I have Friday at 2 p.m., or I have next week, Monday, whatever day you have, at 6 p.m. at night. Great. I will take Monday at 6. Right? You're already setting that expectation and giving them options without devouring your whole schedule that you have to work around. Set that boundary, guys. Okay. Continued education. Oh my gosh, Kate. So this is a long one that she went over, but it pays off. And let me tell you why. 85% of your paycheck will actually come from product users. 85% of your paycheck will come from product users. So that's people who use and become avid product users. To do that, you need to have a solid education. Why continued education is so important is because it gives them enough exposure of all the different things that they could try or could have in their home. And all you need to do is get 4 to 5 items that they can't live without each month. Average 4 to 5 items could easily get them their 100 PV order, or adding on one more thing could get them that 125. Right? How awesome would that be if you don't have to worry about you, your frontline, and your frontline's frontline having to do 100 PV orders, because they already have those 4 to 5 items that they love and have to have every single month. And how you do that is give them touch points to LRP. You're going to seed them with why you love LRP. And we do that by going over 8 different topics. So here's the 8 topics. You can do this yourself as well. It's totally doable. There's a handout and worksheet that you can do every single week. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, lean into your upline. If your upline doesn't have one, lean into their upline. I lean into Mile's. Mile has Wednesdays at noon, continued education. And she does 8, and she'll rotate it and start from the top all over again. Ashley, I think, is starting, or she's considering to do another series. You can totally lean into hers, or do one of yourself. It doesn't have to be fancy. You're just gonna be like, follow the worksheet that that is already provided with these topics, right? I have oils now. What? It's tips and tricks that you love to do now that you got your oils. You know those as well. Okay. Nutrition and supplements, toxic-free living, oils for every age, essential skincare, stress, sleep, and emotions, women's health and hormones, and oil for pain management. And then no, you can do your own fun ones, right? Like Kristen was asking me about pet classes. You could do your own free topic, right? If you are all about what is another good one? Oils for back to school, right? I saw our crossline Shauna was doing that, back to school oils and like a kit for that. Like you can totally make it to how you want. Um, but I would say start with the 8 because at least that's basic information that branches off the live guide that you have already gone over, right? And at the end of each one, it reinforces why on LRP, why LRP is important, and what are some options they could try on LRP. A guideline to how you do continue education is you're going to do the class just as is, right? To do the toxic free living. Then you're going to do a Q&A for 5 minutes. Open it up. Maybe they have questions. Maybe you went too quick and they want that recipe, right? Definitely open it up for questions. But then you're going to plant another seed and actually go over another business, building a pipeline presentation. So go and look at, I'm going to type it in the chat, Dana Moore. She has a building a pipeline video. This is what Elise Sedevi really loves. I would highly suggest trying that, watching that video and seeing if you could duplicate that for you and your own team. I honestly thought it was so simple and easy to understand that I'm like, why aren't I doing that? Why am I not talking about how easy it is to build a pipeline? Then you're gonna invite them, if you haven't already, to a business made easy presentation, which is basically your business basics, right? It's just to get their feet wet, right? Whet their appetite and reinforce again why you love doTERRA, why you do the business, and why doTERRA can be a vehicle for you. They suggest to have essential oil snacks. That's just a way to keep them in person. I wish we were in person, but with COVID, you got to get creative. So what I do is I actually send them a goodie bag afterward with a recipe card with something that they already have. I know they have peppermint. Send them that peppermint brownie recipe, right? It's something you would have made anyway, but if you make it on a cute card and handwrite note, make it fun. Or you can send them recipes for face masks, or if they have kids and Kristen was saying she wants to do a kids class, do like a Play-Doh, do like the Play-Doh recipe. That was like by far the easiest recipe I've ever followed. And that includes cooking Nestle Toll House cookie dough from the freezer. It's so easy. So find ways to make it fun and send it to them. People love getting snail mail. It's a pain to send. Trust me. That's my biggest pet peeve right now is sending mail, but it is so effective for your business. Super effective because it's personal. It's so personal. And then later on, after they've gone to a business basic class or a business made easy, you're going to invite them to do the oil games. And then they get them into a system or a structure to help bring them on board, to take the stress out of it for you, right? When you're bringing new builders on, you want to take the stress off of having to onboard them. Use tools that we already have. And our upline does it. Oil games has a structure. You can go through it with them as well too. Or do the daily mentor calls. Invite them to do daily mentor calls with you. It's already a set structure, breaks down our pipelines. Super good way. But the reason why she does this after continue education is because you're going to plant the seed again, right? When you're ready to grow to ranks such as premier, right? A lot of our team is actually executive or trying to get to elite or trying to get to premier or even trying to go for the next rank. What is the key to actually getting to those ranks? Finding team members that are going to do it with you, right? For me, the hardest part to getting to elite was finding a team member that was going to do it with me to help me get to elite. Then when to premier, you needed a structure, right? You need other team members too. So it's all about building your team. So you're going to start planting those seeds now. Okay. The next one is Team Caw. Yay, you already do one. You're here at one. Yay. Plug into your upline team calls. If you don't have it on a weekly basis, then plug into their uplines. You want to be plugging in to your team calls. And the reason why is because there is a ton of information that your leaders get that you don't necessarily get right away. So it's still probably trickling down through, your emails or through doTERRA's, PR. But sometimes the information that leaders, and sometimes it's only diamonds and above that get the information, they share it at team calls. So please, please attend. And if you're not watching this live, watch the recording. Thank you for watching the recording, because you will find out information that has been shared with leaders like myself that I'm always willing to share with you folks, but you won't know until you come to the team calls. Okay. If you are planning them for your team, once you hit the ranks, she was saying more towards like hitting ranks of diamond. So this is something I definitely aspire to, is having weekly team calls that are 30 minutes total. It's not meant to take up a lot of time. It's just meant to give you the information you need for the week and help fine tune some skills. So there's always a welcome, greet everybody. You're always going to go over training. So similar structure of actually what I do with my team calls, right? I go over a product or specific oil. We're going to go over a training or business skill. So sales, like I found that schedules was a pain point. So I wanted to go about time management skills for you folks, but it could be anywhere between inviting, how to effectively invite, how to effectively sample, how to do personal development, anywhere in your pipes that you feel you need support. And the reason you know what to talk about is because you go to mentor calls and you listen to what their pain points are to help address it. Go over recognition or testimonials, see if they need successes throughout the week, and then just remind them of what's coming up this week and close. Should be straight to the point, and if you have a chance, hop on tonight at 8:30 on Maida's call. I have a feeling she's going to go back through this structure again. She was on this structure for a really long time, so I appreciated that it was 30 minutes, you're in and you're out, done. And you're good for the week. But team calls, a place to get support if you don't have immediate upline support. Okay. The second to the last one, or the sixth thing, is strategy session, or what we call mentor calls. They should be every week and should be at the beginning of the week, because it helps set you for the pace for what you're going to do for the week. She suggests 1 hour for full-time builders and leaders. Honestly, if you are my builder or leader, I do want to do an hour. But I also know that if you're a part-time, you're doing it in conjunction with another job, 30 minutes should be sufficient. And the whole idea is that it's an actionable strategy session. And I want to give my team, and I sent this to you folks before in our team chat, I want to give you folks this idea of that it's an actionable strategy session, because I want to do things that move your business forward. Yes, we can definitely lean on each other, and there are moments where you need to get through something personal that's weighing heavy on you and you just need to talk to somebody. Yes, let's talk it out. But to move your business forward, there's certain things we need to talk about so I can help you move it forward. Okay. So what are those things we need to talk about? One is I'm going to ask you questions. Ask you how you've been. How was your week? Right? If you look at the success check-in, this is similar to what it follows, right? What's working well in your business? What needs to be working better? Self-discovery questions of your business. Review goals and priorities, right? What were the things that you told me you were going to do last week? Did you get it done? What prevented you from getting it done? If it wasn't done, how can I help you? Like, what are some things I can show you resources for to help ease your pain? Then we're going to set up an action plan, right? What are some things that you want to get done this week that need to move your business forward or are going to move your business forward? Then put it on the calendar. So I tried this last week with my team. They said, they told me their action items, and I grabbed my phone immediately in the middle of my mentor call and I set notifications, set reminders. On Thursday, text Nikki. On Friday, text Tiare. On Wednesday, text Kareen, check in to see how she's doing, like check in for this. And I was very specific. And I gave them that expectation. Is it okay if I text you on this day to see how the progress is going? And then you wrap up with important reminders, right? Silver Club applications. I reminded everybody last week. doTERRA Social Academy. I made sure that if I had a mentor call, I reminded them, are you doing that? How can I support you in that? What resources do you need? Do you need the link again? The whole idea is you're going to move them forward, right? Yes, we all want cheerleaders in our life. And I totally agree. I'm definitely one of them that's like, woohoo, I'm going to cheer you on. But when it comes to our strategy sessions or mentor calls, that's where I'm going to be your true friend and help you move forward, not just cheer you on. I'm going to find ways to help you move forward. You're going to do this with your upline and you're going to do this with your team. Duplicatable. Okay. The last thing and the most important thing is contact and following up. The reason why is because that's how you make connections with people who are going to be your customers and then your potential builders. But when we talk about contact and following up, it's people who are not yet signed up in doTERRA. So this is going through your hundreds list, guys. It's daunting. But I'm going to tell you, this is the biggest thing and the most important thing to move your business forward. So how you do it is you're going to schedule and block times where you're going to fully commit to actually contacting and following up. Schedule them on different times on different days. So same thing like wellness consults, right? You're going to schedule them different times, different days. Maybe because Alexis does not answer telephone calls at past 8 p.m. at night. Right? So how am I going to get in contact with her? I'm going to text her in the morning, right? So set those times where you know you can try out different people. Not everyone's schedule is the same, right? If Kristen has stuff to do with her kids, probably she's not going to answer me, right? If I text her in the afternoon. Same with Robin. Robin's not going to answer me if I text her in the afternoon. She'll get back to me later at night. Or maybe people are like Haley and Kareen who are like morning people who love to be up early in the morning and want to do their mentor calls at 8 a.m., right? Then there's customers that are like that too, right? So it's okay, but you have to schedule times to be flexible on what your customers are wanting to be talked to at what times. But cluster your calls at the same time. So you're going to block off an hour at a time. And you're going to contact people. Contact and follow up. If you are looking for builders, and I know we talked about planting the seeds on builders, you're going to contact and follow up people to do the business with you. This is what I thought was so fitting because we talk about the pipeline and the funnel for customers, right? We talk about that a lot, and it's in the build guide. We talk about that funnel. But have you thought about a funnel for your builders? Have you thought about a funnel for people who want to do the business with you? Let me awaken you to it if you haven't. However many builders do you think you need? Say you're going for elite and you just want to find one builder to start a structure. Okay, you need one builder. You're going to multiply that by 4. So now you need to contact 4 people. For every one committed and capable builder and leader, you're going to contact 4 people to do the business with you. The reason why is one is going to do nothing. One won't answer you. She'll leave you on red. Trust me, customers do that all the time too, right? They'll leave you on red. Yeah, totally happens with builders too. The next one is going to be a share. She just wants to go at her own pace. The third one is going to build, but maybe she'll do it at her own pace. What works for them, maybe in and out, not as committed, but definitely capable. But the fourth one out of every 4, is going to be ready to run at your speed and your pace. But that's why you want to contact 4 for every 1 committed and capable builder that you need. So if you're building to silver, which means you need 3 legs, right? 3 times 4, you need to contact 12 people to do the business with you. When you break it down that way, it seems much more doable, much more possible for us, right? It's just contacting people. The same thing you would do for your class, except the class is more, right? 15 people to get like 8 on average to a class, then 4 people maybe to commit to doing a wholesale account, and then 1 to do the business with you, right? Talks about that funnel, but nobody focuses on the little part of that funnel when you're actually getting the builders. But I thought this was fun, and I thought it was a good way to put it. And then you're going to schedule, and how you block it is minimum of 4 hours a week. If you're looking to do a new rank, or you're ready to hit a goal, maybe it's an income goal, you should be doing on average about 6 hours a week. And like I said, right, it's not something that you're going to sit there for 6 hours in one day. Spread it out. Make it doable for you. If you can commit, like if you are a working mom and you're like, oh my God, I can't do an hour in my day, find 15 minutes and do it 4 times in that day, right? You want to make it doable for your schedule. But contact and following up is probably the biggest thing that you want to do, and block off on your schedule and commit yourself. Like when I do contact and following up hour, I turn off my music because I need to be focused. I shut my door so nobody talks to me. and I sit here and what I do is the second I'm done, I will text somebody, whether that's a cross line or an upline. Oh my God, I just finished, because that is the release I need. But if you're not that, then like go have yourself like a drink, pour yourself a glass of wine. Totally doable though. Contact and follow up. So this is what it will kind of look like.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds really easy when we speak about it, but I think of like Alexis as a new builder, like elite premier, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what Alexis would say is, I am so scared to follow up with people or even talk to the business about people. And I think that that feeling is really live for a lot of my team
Okay.
who is here and who could potentially be watching the recording, right? So what advice, because I know I give them my advice, but what advice do you have for overcoming that image that they put in their minds, right? Because we have to come to terms with like, there's nothing to be scared of because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if they're going to reply. We don't know if they're too busy. We don't know what's happening in their world, right? But we
Right.
think, oh, they're going to ignore me. Or we think, oh, shoot, they're already going to say this. So I'm like, we kind of end up talking ourselves out of that because it's so scary and we don't know what happens. So what advice do you have to push through that limiting belief?
Good question. And honestly, that's something I do struggle with personally. And I have to give myself a pep talk every time I do a contact and follow up. What helps me the most, and I'll bring it out because this is literally what's on my desk, is you bring out your why. You bring out your why. You sit it right in front of you. If you need to write it out on a post-it note every single time you do a contact and follow up, is you're going to write down why you're doing the business and why you're going to contact them. If you don't have a why of why you're going to reach out to them, then why are you? Why are you going to contact somebody to come to your basics class if you don't really have a true reason why? Right? I can give you that example because I actually invited Tiare to a class. I was so scared because honestly, I did not want people at work, because me and her know each other from flight attendant. I didn't want people at work thinking I was that hippie, weird chick. And I was so nervous to invite her to a class. And I wrote down, I had my photo and I had my phone, and I wrote down my why. And I said, why she should come to this class is, one, she could use the oils. She's a flight attendant. Why? I use them for motion sickness. I'm sure she gets motion sickness too. I clean my room because hotels are so disgusting. I'm sure she could use that too. Like, I use On Guard. She has a kid, right? There's a whole kids collection that I don't use, but her son could use. Start writing down your whys of why you're going to contact that person. Then realize your why you are doing this business again. That's what helped me. In terms of finding builders, it's still very scary for me. Um, but I have to realize that I have a bigger purpose. It's not about me when I look for builders. It's not. Yes, I have goals to be a diamond, but that's not about me. I'm not there to get team members for my own benefit. What I'm trying to do is, I have a why because I want them to be able to have the freedom I have the options that I have, right? For the first time in our life, we're in a pandemic where we have to work from home. I have the option that if my job was gone tomorrow, I'd still be okay. And I want that for each and every one of the people that I contact for the business. So for me, when I'm looking at builders, I want you to think of like, why? What is your true purpose? What is your true purpose in helping somebody? Why do you want a team? What is that going to do for them? I'm all about sales. My background is sales, and my background, whenever I go into a sales, is it's never about the person who's selling. It's always about the other person. That's just sales. But if you take it deeper, right? Going back to your passion, what is your passion? What is your inner purpose that sparks joy? If that is to help other people, which a lot of you said yes to, and that's why you're here, we're going to find that. But you got to dig deep. Do some personal work. Do some journaling before you do your hour of contacting. Do whatever personal mindset you need to get into. If that means you have to dance it out with like, I don't know, Ariana Grande and Justin Timberlake and blasting in the background before you sit down, do it. Because you have to be in a great mindset. If you have the wrong intention going into your contact hour, I'm telling you, it's not going to be effective. Then you just wasted an hour. I've done that so many times. So try it out, okay? Try scheduling your mindset work around these hours. So this is an example of what Elise had set up. She did not block off her days, but she kind of plugged in for what we talked about, right? So the first one is your basic oils class, an hour. So every Thursday at this time, she's going to do her basics class. Then she does her biz intro class right after it, right? We talked about that. You're going to schedule it right after it. Then her wellness consults. If she averages 2 enrollments a week, then she's going to plug in 2 in that week. Continued education, she plugged in 2 hours. That's because she was doing it in person, but you could still do the 2 hours and then anticipate for people to stay for that business, like whet your appetite kind of a deal afterward, right? That's kind of the agenda we went over. Then the last one is your strategy session. So my schedule looks slightly different, but Tuesdays are my strategy sessions with my organization. They know starting at 7 a.m., I start mentor calls and they're back to back. And that's how I schedule it. But I don't schedule anything else. Like I'm not going to schedule follow-ups on that day because I want a break in between talking to each person. I do, however, schedule my classes at night, but that's after all my wellness consult, not my wellness, excuse me, my strategy sessions. But schedule it that way. And then team calls are on here as well. Then as you can see, she has 4 blocks of follow-up, contact and follow-up, which is an hour each. At most, doing this now, it's 15 hours total. Part-time work, guys, 15 hours total. If you do this consistently every week, you will build to diamond because you're doing the things in your business to move it forward, whether that's PIPES, right? All the areas of your pipes and then some, because you're also pitching the business, right? Which is that added presentation part, which is that added support part. You're doing all the things in your pipes. 15 hours to do the 7 items. So at most, if you factor in driving and you factor in personal development work, at most you're probably looking at maybe 17 to 20 hours. Part-time work, guys. And know it, yours doesn't have to look like this. If you have Monday through Friday clocked off, right? 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you'll find time. Do it on your weekends. Do it at night. Do it in the mornings. Do it on your lunch breaks. I used to have mentor calls with Karine at noon. You just got to do what works with your schedule. But the beauty of it is your upline's not here to tell you that you can only contact and follow up on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. We're not here to tell you that. You're going to do what fits for you. Alexis says, yes, 7 a.m. My first mentor call is Tuesdays at 7 a.m. I have builders like that. But I'm willing to be flexible because that's what works with their schedule. But I just say my only recommendation is, can I schedule it on Tuesdays? Then I set boundaries for myself where I'm not stressing, oh my God, I scheduled a doctor's appointment and now I have to move somebody. I already scheduled it, right? You set that expectation for yourself. You're not going to have to stress about, oh my God, I have to move things around because you already have the expectation. Okay? Try it out. Try to at least make a schedule for yourself. See how that works. Then post it on your desk or post it wherever you can see it and try it out. Try it out. The worst thing you can do is find something that is going to be helpful, right? If not, then I hope you took a couple tips to like help gain a success on your time management. Okay. Sorry, I know we're kind of going a little bit over, but I love to kind of give quotes and we're going to wrap it up. If you plan to fail, then you fail to plan. Oh, wait, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I'm a big planner. That's just my type A personality. I like to plan things out. I like to know. But for me, that helps take the guessing of what I'm going to do in my business each day. If I can wake up and look at my calendar and be like, oh my God, yeah, today is wellness consult day, or today is mentor call day, I already know what to expect, right? Instead of sitting there being like, what do I do? Oh my God, I get lost. Like then you get lost down the rabbit hole of things that you Google, right? So stick to the 7 things and plan. I love also saying this, a goal without a plan is just a wish. If you have a goal, like we talk about Founders Club or Silver Club coming up, if you have a goal to achieve that, then what are the steps we need to take to help you get there? Make a plan. Okay. Couple reminders and tasks for the week. I do have some homework for you folks. One is create a weekly schedule with those 7 crucial items we talked about. Send it to your upline. Please send it by Friday. I want to make sure you guys get in the habit of actually trying it out. So I'm going to ask that you send it to me on Friday. If you're on Alexis's team, try it out and send it to her. The best thing that happened to me is I sent mine to Ashley, and she was like, oh my God, I had no idea that you actually contact and follow up in the middle of the day. How is that going? And she'll check in with me sometimes. Or she'll be like, how did your wellness consult go? Or she knows that Tuesdays are my mentor calls. So she's like, okay, you're overwhelmed. I'll check in with you on your pipes later. Like you set that expectation with your upline to know how they can better support you on what days, right? Another task is make a connection with your cross line. Either help hold you accountable or just be your support. I can't stress enough of how big Alexis has been a support for me, whether in doTERRA or outside of doTERRA. And I only wish the best for all of you to have that relationship. So text somebody, call somebody, and it doesn't have to be like, hi, I'm Corinne. I don't know what to say. No, just be like, hey, how can I support you, right? We're all in this together. Doesn't matter what team you're on, we're all in it together. Okay, couple of reminders, Silver Club applications are due today. If you have not gotten yours in, please make sure you email your upline, and you need to email the Silver Club and do your application like right now. There is a portion of it that you actually have to take their Silver Club quiz or course. You have to finish that and get your Silver Club certificate and email that in. Please don't forget to do that. That is in the instructions, but people glance over it and miss it. That is part of your application being approved. Okay, commission runs are happening on the 14th this month. So please make sure that your carts, your LRP templates are at 100 PV, right? BOGO week happened, so your carts might be all kind of funky. Please fix it up now to 100. Please make sure that you triple check your numbers for last month. If you hit a power of 350, please make sure that that is showing still. If you go in your back office, we want to make sure that everything is still showing. So when commission runs happen, we already know that it's happening on what's expected. Because they're doing beta with the back office, things can have been wonky. So I want to catch it now before commissions run. And we have to kind of do a whole bunch of things with our account managers. The free caraway is ending on the 15th, which is Saturday. For our team, we're doing our BOGO after party, which is on Wednesday. So if you have not signed up for what oil you want to help present, please let me know by tomorrow if you want to talk about any of the BOGO oils. And then doTERRA Social Academy starts today as well, which is a program to help launch doTERRA Social, and it has a full content or like schedule of what you can post and how to help you build your social following for oils with their platform. Okay, this is upcoming events for you folks that are ongoing and coming up. So tonight at 8:30 is the I Love team call. Tuesdays, tomorrow, I do my IG lunch break. So that's kind of equivalent to what I consider like a more loose or like relaxed version of a continued education. I go over different topics, but I also set times to talk about the business. So if you haven't tuned into them, I save them on my IG, but I do go live on Tuesdays at 12. I have my basics classes this week on Tuesday, continued education on Wednesday at noon with Miley. This week, Thursday, I do have another basics class and business overview if you folks need to tune into that. And then things that you can always tune into. Weekly mentor calls. I highly suggest you get on a weekly schedule. Empowered success videos, as well as training and daily mentor calls. You always have access to the I Love Facebook group, as well as previously recorded team calls and classes. And then you always have access to the business advancement team. With that, I'm gonna stop sharing and see if you folks have any questions. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna stop also recording. That was fun. Thanks guys for a team call.